This afternoon we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson after the Saints' FA Cup run has been ended by his former club at Boreham Wood. Saints going down 3-1 in the fourth round qualifying at Clarence Park. Now Ian, these days I'm one of the last to criticise referees, but I thought the big decisions today didn't go against us. On 13 minutes they got a penalty which was soft, they possibly a foul in there, but very soft, and the second goal just before half time, a blatant push on Tom Bender. Those big decisions, when you're facing the side from a high league opposition, you don't need those going against you.
No, I think, again David, I think you've summed up the feeling in our changing room, and unfortunately it led to 2 goals, and it was probably the difference in the first half. I mean, we had a little 10 minutes just before half time where we lost our shape once the second goal went in, and they could have got a third quite comfortably and the game would have been dead and buried. But no, you do rely on decisions to go your way, and unfortunately we didn't get them today, and it led to them being 2-0 up at half time. You know, we spoke about being tight for the next 15 minutes of the second half, and unfortunately we give a soft goal away. But it was always going to be tough if we had to chase it, and I knew if we had to chase the game today against a quality side like Boreham Wood, we'd be in trouble, and that was the thing that happened. But you know, you're relying on decisions to go your way, and we didn't get them today, and that's tough to take at times. It's frustrating to take, and you can't express your opinions about anything in terms of them decisions, because all you do is get reported to the FA over these things.
In a way, we came back well late in that first half, and their second goal was probably against a run of play. If we could have held it to 1-0 at half time, things may have been in, but there's so many ifs in this game. Yeah,
I think so, and if you look at the save their keeper's made from Reese at 1-0, I think it was an excellent save down to his left. But as I said to you before, and I'll say it again, is if you go 1-0 down to a team of this quality, is that the minute you've got to go and chase the game, you're going to leave yourself slightly exposed at the back, and as you say, if you're not getting the decisions on the big decisions, then you know things are going to be tough. And you know, I felt, and the same as you, and we got texts within 5 minutes of the penalty that it was a harsh penalty, and certainly the second goal was a foul, and it's no different to when Tom Bender was penalised on the edge of their box to the foul that happened just before then. So, and then he got a wicked deflection. So, you know, they're little things we can't do that. At the end of the day, they've gone and beaten us, which is fair and square. And I said before, they're a good side, and good luck to them, and hopefully they get a good draw in the next round.
That early penalty against us, it throws our plans almost out the window. But any things you'd like to have seen us do better today?
I think it's difficult because, as you say, you know, you set your plan up, you set 2 training sessions up in the week on Tuesday and Thursday on playing to a certain system, and I felt first 10, 12, 13 minutes it worked. We'd got in 2 or 3 times behind them down their wide areas. We felt there was areas there we could express some holes, and I felt Reece Williams got in once or twice. And then there was nothing in the game. It was 12, 13 minutes gone. I think it was an even game, and as you say, big decisions turn games, and that was a big decision to make, especially that there was a lot of little fouls outside the box that wasn't given, and that was just a tangle of 2 bodies going together, and the penalty was given very quickly. And then, as I say, it took us a little bit while to get going again after that, but I felt we had a good spell. Could have got back in at 1-1. As I say, the keeper's made a good save. We've got 3 or 4 corners out of it, and then obviously the second goal is as virtually as a tie has killed it, because I knew second half if we came out and started to try and chase the game and got the game really stretched out. But I was just so pleased with the players because their fitness level stayed, even though in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes I felt their fitness in terms of being full-time to ours started to show. We got a little bit tired. David Noble and so in midfield got a little bit tired, but we still looked trying to get, and if we'd have got a second goal with sort of 7 or 8 minutes to go, who knows what would have happened. But you know, they've got a lot of experience in their side. They see the game out really well. They kept the ball and they made it difficult for us, and you know, in the end they've obviously deserved to win the game.
We said about getting that second goal. The game looked dead and buried at 3-0. Zane Banton got us back to 3-1, and I think David Noble put a couple wide, just wide, and a couple of others went across the face of a goal. We nearly got back to 3-2. Yeah, and if it had happened, it'd have been interesting to see how everyone would have reacted. But you know, my game plan wasn't to try and chase the game at 3-1 down. You know, the game plan was to stay in the game, be in the game. And the longer the game went on, I felt we had players like Sean Lucian could come off the bench, Sam Merson could come off the bench, and we could change the game. But as you said, you know, big decisions have gone against us, and now we have to as I say, dress ourselves down. We have to make sure now that this is gone by next week, and so we've got a tough week coming up next week with 3 games against Hungerford, and Dartford, which doesn't make or break the season, but as I say, we've got a long way to go where we're going to be by the time we get into sort of November, December time.
You made the decision there at half time to bring Sean Lucien on, guess 2-0 down. It was just a case of we've got to go for it now.
Yeah, we had nothing to lose, and the one thing about it was, you know, the way we set up was that, as I said earlier, was to try and stay in the game for as long as we can, make it difficult, not leave any holes for some of their forwards, because they've got, you know, Bruno Andrade and Balanta and Jeffers are good players, and if you leave holes, they'll punish you. And we didn't leave any holes, and that was a good thing about it. You know, the plan was to just keep it really nice and tight, and I felt our two wide men could cause them some problems, which they did. But as I say, you know, you can't do nothing about the penalty and then the second goal from the free kick or from the foul that we should have had in our favour. But unfortunately, we didn't get them. We have to, you know, as I say, we have to dress ourselves down again. We have to, you know, prepare now for next Saturday.
And as well at half time, just before half time, Tom Bender took a knock, and I noticed him limping off at half. Were you thinking maybe he's about changing that?
Yeah, we was, but we spoke to Tom, and you know, he's not a soft lad. He's not a lad that lets knocks like that go. But again, you know, you have to question, is that not a foul? Because Tom's cleared the ball and it's a late tackle. And they're little things that frustrated me, and little things that, you know, you see Tom come through on the halfway line, and their lad brings Tom down, and it's a great free kick to give away from the opposing team because it kills the game. They get everyone behind the ball, and for me that's a yellow card, and it doesn't happen. And you see, all the frustrations you get in football is that you don't see a consistency. You know, we haven't had a player booked today. I think they've had one player booked for kicking a ball out of the goalkeeper's hands. It wasn't a dirty game, but what I'm saying is, in some weeks we don't know whether we stand in terms of whether that's going to be a foul and a booking, or a foul and no booking, and it's just having a consistency level through the whole of the leagues in terms of everybody knows where we stand, and we haven't got that, and that's frustrating. And as you say, you know, the penalty was a coming together with two players. There wasn't a poor tackle, it was just two legs got, and for me it isn't a penalty because there's been worse tackles all over the park where fouls haven't been given today.
The plus side, I guess, is you've played a side from the higher division. There's precious little between you, so that must give you great confidence going forward for the rest of this year and hopefully next.
Well, this is what we said to the players afterwards. You know, you've got to look at the quality they've got in their side, and you know, we've got a lot of players that are starting to come through now. You know, they're young boys and they've got a lot to learn, and some of them will have learned a hell of a lot today. And then we've got to try and use that to our advantage, because you say there wasn't a lot between the two sides. In the end, they got a little bit of rubber to green, and a little bit of quality they showed obviously cost us. But you know, we've got to just believe in ourselves from that side of it, take it forward. But you know, let's not get carried away that all of a sudden we've had one game against Boreham Wood from the league above and we've done okay, because all that happened is that, you know, we'll get our backsides kicked again and we'll have to start again. So, you know, we've got to learn from it. You know, we've got to take it on board of the mistakes we've made. We've got to take it on board in terms of learning from a defeat, which we can do, and take that forward, as I say, into the next 3 games in November and December, and then take stock where we are once we get into that Christmas period, what we need, what we don't need, because we're still not the finished article. We still need to probably bring 1 or 2 players in, but that can only come as we start to progress through the weeks and the months coming forward.
2 successive gates in around about 1,500. Be nice to get closer on that number when Hungerford are here next week. But we're back to the bread and butter, and this is the all-important time now. As you say, there's 3 games coming in quick succession. Yeah, and I said it last week, and I've said it again today, that the supporters, the crowd were fantastic, and it's great to get nearly 1,500 in here again today. And hopefully they've seen something that we're trying to do, because they certainly got behind the players at the start of the game, and they certainly got behind us when we were sort of 2 and 3-0 down. You know, they didn't give up on us today, which was nice to see. And when we got the first goal, it gave them a bit of a lift, and they got behind us again. So great crowds. You know, you've got to thank the people of St Albans for turning up, and obviously Boreham Wood had a few there as well, which is nice to see. And as I say, it made a good game, and I thought it was played in a tremendous spirit. As I say there, I think both teams tried to play football. Certainly, you know, well done to Luke and everyone at Boreham Wood, and I wish them all the best in the draw on Monday. Boreham Wood has some great success under you. Some of the fans enjoyed taunting you. I'd imagine it's water off a duck's back. Yeah, it's football at the end of the day. As I say, I know what I did there. You know, with Luke's help, as we said there, and everybody else, we know what we did. The club are where they are because of what we put together there, along with the chairman. You know, everybody worked extremely hard as a group of people, and that's football at the end of the day. You know, they're going to taunt me as being manager of St Albans, but as I've said before, you know, I have to live with things like that, and you know, we're in a position where, you know, I can't do nothing about that, and if that's the way they want to behave, then that's down to them. But you know, I've got a bit more respect than some of the people who wanted to start chanting some disrespectful comments. So that's football at the end of the day, but we have to get on with it, and I'll get on with doing the job here at St Albans, and hopefully try and push them forward as much as we can. A quick look at the injuries. Tom Bender?
just a really bad knock from a poor challenge at the end of the day. So we're just going to have to just ice that, probably struggle for Tuesday, but should be okay by next Saturday.
And how's Kieran Monlouis coming on?
Kieran's fine. We're probably looking another 2.5 weeks away. We'll probably look at the Hadley game where we might be able to introduce him for an hour. We don't want to do anything any quicker, because the one thing with what he's got is that we can't afford to let him break down again, because you've got to push him back the 2 weeks we've had already. So that'll break him. If he breaks down now, that would probably be another sort of 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll give him another 2.5 weeks. He's feeling good. He's not ready to go and obviously do any stretches or sprinting from that side of it, but it's actually feeling a lot better than it did 10 days ago.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian, and we'll see you next week when the Saints are at home to Hungerford Town. National League South kick-off at Clarence Park is at 3 p.m. That's the 21st of October.